seemed like more with all the friends included. Her greatest joy was her grandchildren. In fact, she often marked her time on earth by the milestones she set for herself, by attending many bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, graduations, weddings, and birthdays. When it reached a point when she could no longer go and do whatever she wanted to do, Mom had a team of special ladies. She quickly considered them friends. We want to take a moment to recognize these special caregivers: Cece, Abby, Betty, Gannett, and Nardos. Thank you for your nonstop care and love. We leave here today. Let us not remember Mom with tears, but with laughter and full stomachs. After all, she wouldn't want us to mourn. She would prefer to share stories and savor a piece of pie or a cookie, or maybe stay on the phone a little longer next time to let each other know that we care. Mom, Mom, now it's time for you to be reunited with Dad. Eileen, you've left an impression on our hearts, our waistlines, and our phone logs. I hope this eulogy will suffice, but I'm confident you will be critiquing this. Thank you for all the love, kindness, and guidance you continually provide for us. You truly have been an inspiration and will surely be missed. But I feel comfortable in knowing that you are already organizing the heavens the way you want. Love you. We all love you. Thank you.
From the poet Merritt Malloy, epitaph. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. If you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. When you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give to me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known and loved. You cannot give me away. At least let me live on in your eyes and not on your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. Dorothy's great granddaughter, Jessica. Granddaughter. I'm getting so many of you have to keep.
Hello, everyone. I want to start off by saying this is the honor of my life to give these words today. As most of you standing here know, my grandmother was the only consistent female figure in my life growing up. While I thanked her for that in the final days, I did not know the true impact of her love, her kindness, and her true strength until I was much older. How many people can say they met a woman who lived through World War II, the tragic death of their daughter, survived lung cancer in their 80s, and ate dinner every single night with her husband, even as he was forgetting their lives together? She was truly an inspiration. I am sure all of us here have learned more life lessons that could be counted on both hands from her. For me, I will never forget how she greeted everyone with a genuine smile that showed she was grateful for their presence in her life. Even in her last days, she found a way to say goodbye to each of us in a way that was intentional and personal. My grandmother was a party animal, a social butterfly, from holiday parties to birthday parties to anniversaries to dinner parties. She loved them all. And of course, how can we ever forget her 100th birthday bash? Today, I want to try something a little different than a standard eulogy. Everyone here has a million things they can say about my grandmother. So I want to take maybe like 30 seconds. And if you feel comfortable, turn to someone next to you and think of one party you went to with her. She wanted her eulogies to be funny and short. So I'll give you like 30 seconds to think of remember a time where grandma was the life of the party. I know we could talk all day about memorable party moments, but I have a few more things I want to say first. The Jewish people do not have a concrete understanding of the afterlife. There have been many great thinkers, artists, philosophers, and spiritual leaders who have tried to explain their thoughts. But I believe we are more than just our bodies, and that our souls do not leave the universe until they are truly ready. My grandmother was the life of the party here on earth. We each have a story, in fact, multiple, proving just that. As she leaves her physical body here on earth and we celebrate her life, I imagine all the people who have left us have been very, very patiently planning a party to celebrate her arrival to the after earth. They have put together her favorite foods, from chopped liver, pickles, and of course, cookies. They have hung the balloons and planned the music. I'm sure she's made her grand entrance by now. Knowing her, the party won't stop anytime soon, for she has to catch up with relatives, friends, and meet everybody she hasn't met yet. She will learn absolutely everything there is to know about their lives, and then proceed not to forget a single detail. Am I right?
Yes.
It also brings me peace to know that she will be planning something special to our arrival to the after earth, where she will also be the life of the party, dancing the night away. Thank you.
The rising of the sun and its going down, we remember them. The blowing of the wind and the chill of winter, we remember them. At the opening of the buds and the rebirth of spring, we remember them. At the blueness of the skies and the warmth of summer, we remember them. At the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn, we remember them. The beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. As long as we live, they too will live, for they are now a part of us, as we remember them. We are weary in need of strength, we remember them. We are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. We have joy we crave to share, we remember them. We have decisions that are difficult to make, we remember them. We have achievements that are based on theirs, we remember them. As long as we live, she too will live, for she's now a part of us, as we remember. So this week, as Dorothy left this realm, this reality that we know and in which we knew her, or impacted by her life, her spirit on ours. Jewish communities around the world share the same stories as we always do every week. We start the book of Leviticus, which is a long book of sacrifices and priests and behaviors and things like that. So I won't get into that. But the very first was where I stopped and I was thinking about Dorothy. You open up every Torah scroll in the world, you'll find that first word has what looks like a typo. The last letter of Vayikra, the name of the portion, the name of the book, is an Aleph. The Hebrew letter Aleph, the first letter of the alphabet, a silent letter, and it is written smushed, smaller. It's diminutive. As happens in our tradition, sages and scholars ask, why is that? What is up with that Aleph? What is it there to teach us? And they go on about Moses' humility and the nature of the book of Exodus. While they give insight, I couldn't stop but consider the challenge, the thought that there was something about Dorothy and that Aleph that fit, that said something, at least to me, and I humbly hope to you. Because I consider the Aleph and what it is, as I said, it's the first letter of the alphabet, the alphabet, that we all learn when we are children. In fact, Leviticus is a whole book that young children start reading that book because the Hebrew is most accessible. So I think about that Aleph and that childhood wonder, that spirit of youth, and I think about Dorothy. Some of us are said, or we know people who have an old soul. I think it's been observed that Dorothy had a young soul. She was joyous and happy. We saw that in her willingness to dress up as goofy as she needed to for the occasion, birthday parties, Halloweens. We saw it in her ability to, and willingness to dance whenever she could. Whether it was a young mother inviting friends over to dance the latest rock and roll, whether that was dancing before she was a mother at the USO, where her beloved Harold would allow her to go dance because he didn't want any part of that dancing, but she could go be joyous. Or if it would be her pure love of ice cream. Is there anything more youthful, more happy than enjoying a wonderful cup of ice cream? And all these things, they're physical things, they're on the surface, but they're not, because they exuded this childlike wonder, this youthful spirit that so was Dorothy. The other thing about the Aleph, as I said, that it's silent, meaning that whatever letters or other vowels you put around it, it accommodates, it invites, it combines with. That was so Dorothy as the social person, the social organizer. She wanted to meet you where you're at and be all about you. What was going on in your life? What was going on with your people? What it was that brought you to that moment? And she was that openness, that open-heartedness that she wanted to celebrate you and honor you, and that brought her joy too. We've heard about her organization and propensity to celebrate holidays and anniversaries and birthdays, and for the way she organized and preemptively planned to do that. It's just like that Aleph, she wanted to, it was your birthday, let's celebrate you. Your anniversary, I want you to hear from me. But also too, that ability, that adaptability was also in the way she approached the world. She met the world where it was at openly and with joy and curiosity. She showed that in her, believe it or not, tech savvy. You don't hear that with people who are 102, but she knew her emojis, I'm sure, better than I do. And she used them with precision, her ability to connect. She wanted to adapt to where the world was, and not just with tech, but with the issues of the day. And however the world evolved and what people saw as new ways or progressive ways to be welcoming, to be loving, she embraced those too. That was a bit of that Alephness of her. You may be thinking, well, yeah, this all sounds nice, but the Aleph, the silence, Dorothy was a lot of things, but maybe not silent. And maybe it's not the silence of never speaking, but Dorothy had this sense of letting others fill the space and lead. Maybe she was not always at the front leading a charge or organizing this or that, but she was there showing up to work to get the job done. She was comfortable and confident to let others' voices fill those spaces. Like she rolled up her sleeves and wrote postcards or directed others to write postcards or whatever it might be that she saw that as well. She also knew too that sometimes the way you love, the way you support isn't necessarily needing to say the things or express all the words. As someone who suffered loss in her life, her father at a young age, her daughter, she knew what that pain was. She didn't need to come and say the thing to try to make it better, but she knew how to be in that space, to be silent, to connect. In that way that we connect with those who have shared experience and shared pain. So she knew how to be present in that way, connect and support. One of the other teachings about the Aleph in our tradition is that when our ancestors stood at Mount Sinai and heard what we now call the Ten Commandments, there's a teaching though that it wasn't those 10 commandments that were spoken by God to the people, but just the first letter of the first word, which was Aleph. And our sages teach that in that moment, by saying the Aleph, by speaking the sound of the Aleph, which is no sound, it allowed each and every individual who stood at Sinai to hear, to experience, to encounter God in that moment in a way that was appropriate and fit who they were and how they understood their place in the world. Goodness, that feels so like Dorothy, who was so in love with life that she honored the way that each and everyone lived their lives and made herself accessible and connecting in the way that fit each and every one of us. So no matter what the category you are, connection to her, a friend, resident of Lane 10, her beloved friends who took so great care of her. She met you where you're at, shared that joy, loved you. Whether it was her beloved Harold, who, by the way, I checked my notes from Harold a few years ago. The number of kisses in my notes, I was 25. So I don't know. We'll have to check the numbers. But also in my notes, the same story you shared yesterday about that image of them taking a nap and just being embraced in each other. A better way, there's no words other than that image to capture that kind of love that they were blessed to enjoy. And for you many grandkids and great-grandkids, who I'm not sure who is what a blessing to have such a curious, playful, hip, and even irreverent grandma and great-grandma who was so in love with you and your lives. What a gift and blessing. Their children, Marlene, Steve, and Ivy. What a blessing to have such a protective, devoting, and accepting soul to welcome you into the world, to guide you and push you. So let's all take a moment of silence to honor and celebrate her. Not just the silence that we do, that we stop talking, but that embraces that spirit of the Aleph and all the ways she embodied and lived and impacted so many of us. Let's remember the joy she brought, the things she said that made us laugh, the ways she was curious about each of us, shared that love of life, that wonder and that beauty that she embodied. We'll take a few moments to honor and celebrate. Mizmor LeDavid Adonai ro'i lo echsar. Binvot deshayor bitseni amen menachonat yachileni. Nafshi yeshovav yanacheh b'magay tzedek lama'an shemo. Gam ki elef b'gavet salmavet lo ira ra ki ata imadi. Shivtacha umish antecha hema yanachmuni. Ta'aroch lifnei shochan neged sororai. Deshanta b'shemen roshi kosi rabya. Achtov b'chesed. Yerdefoni kol yemei chayai. V'shavti b'veit Adonai la'orach yamin. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside the still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord. Now's a time where we take part in the mitzvah of helping to return Dorothy's physical self to the earth. It's our custom, as you may know, to participate, each take turn in tossing dirt on the grave. So we'll ask Dorothy's family to begin this ritual, and anyone else who would like to participate, please line up and follow as we process this ritual.
Yeah. 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 Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. So sorry. So we're gonna say cottage.
We conclude our time together here with two more prayers from our tradition. Please rise, everyone. El Male Rachamim Shochein Bam Romim Hamsei Menocha Nechona Taka Kanfei Shina Kiroshim Tutorim Zohar Rikia Masirim Et Nishma Devora Bela Shehalach La'olama Ba'ah Harachamim Yasirehu Betzedek Nafav La'olamim Vayitor B'itor Hakayim Et Nishmato Adonai Hu Nachalato V'yanuach Ameshkabo B'Shalom. O great wellspring of compassion and source of life, eternal spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest under the sheltering wings of your presence to Dorothy, who has entered eternity. Author of mercy, may she find refuge forever in the shadow of your wings. May her soul be bound up in the bond of eternal life. May the Eternal One be her inheritance. May she rest in peace. Now we conclude with the words of mourners Kaddish. Now we recite, standing together as community, to give our support, our presence to all who love Dorothy and all who begin this process of grieving and missing. Yitgadal, Yitgadash, the Alma Divrach Yurte Vyomnich Mahute, Bachaya Chonu Vyomechonu, Chaye Decho Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Ubizman Karib Imru, Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba Mevarach Leolam Olame Almaya, Yit Barach, V'Yish Shabach, V'Yit Ha'ar, V'Yit Romam, V'Yit Naseh. Yit Adar, V'Yit Ale, V'Yit Halal, Shmei Kudisha, V'Elam Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata, Tushbachata V'Nechemata, Damiram B'Alma, Yehe Shalama, Rabba Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu V'Yal Kol Yisrael, V'Yimru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Mromav, Huya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'Yal Kol Yisrael. For all of us will miss this dear, special soul. Remember to be a blessing.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That does conclude our service. If we can make a pathway so the family can pass right through back to their cars.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for coming. Oh, that'd be great. We should do that. We always say that. Well, yeah, we gotta do that. Once you have to.
Not me. Yeah.